Good Kitten Internet. It's, 21:15 at night? Feels weird for me not to record a vlog, so here I am recording a vlog even though I said I wouldn't anymore. Ooh, am I blurry? I think I'm blurry. Anyway, decided to give my housemate some time with his girlfriend, and I needed to take a walk. I've been walking for about an hour and a half, or a little bit under. By the time I get home, it'll be an hour and a half. It's been a while since I've done a long walk. Feels nice. Well, my feet don't feel nice, and my back's hurting a bit, because standing up is actually one of the ways that my back hurts, but my back's doing much better than it was before. So, unfortunately, I think the reason why I've been avoiding doing long walks is because, well, how to put it? I don't like being by myself. When I'm by myself, I get trapped in my own thoughts with no way around it. If I'm talking with other people, or participating in things with other people, or even just having a running conversation with my phone like I am right now, things are quite a bit better. But when I'm by myself, alone in my own thoughts, not even my headphones are enough anymore. And given the disastrous turn of mental health that I've had recently, I think that might be why I've been avoiding taking walks. And yeah, I've already broken down in tears on this walk, for reference, so I'm not exactly doing well even right now, even though I'm doing better than before. What is there to say? My mental health has never been the greatest in my adult life, or even my teenage years. When I was first diagnosed with depression at the age of 16. And likely had bouts of it even when I was a kid. So there's that. But this time right now is particularly hard. And I've talked about this many times at this point, but it basically boils down to the uncertainty of everything that's going to happen. There's too much uncertainty, and when there's uncertainty, my brain decides to fill things in. Disasterizing, or just in general dwelling on all of the negativity. I don't even know if you can see me anymore. I think you can. But, it's night, dark outside, and the streetlights aren't on this side of the road. If I had thought about it, I would have walked on the other side of the road, but I didn't think I was going to record anything. But I decided it was a better idea for me to do so. So yeah, it basically boils down to uncertainty. What do I do? I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to get married. I don't see any reason why the country of Norway would not let me get married. The worst case scenario is that we either find out that my documents aren't adequate, or they time out, and I have to go through this whole process all over again. That's the worst case scenario. And the reason why I'm talking about the worst case scenarios is because this is something that my therapist recommended, is basically just walk through the actual worst case scenario. And is it actually that bad? Well, unfortunately, the next step really is. That is, you can see me. My paperwork to get residency in Norway. That can go really bad really fast. And outside of major geopolitical conflict, a la Russia decides to go invade Sweden and Finland, the worst case scenario is that the Norwegian government says no for either they think that my marriage is a sham marriage. I mean, I've literally been with my partner for 20 years. I don't think anybody could qualify that as a sham marriage that knows me, but whatever. So, I can only speak for the US when it comes to this. But, hold on, I'm going to be crossing a major road, so I'm going to pause. Alright, I have finished crossing. Now I'm going to go even darker, so you're going to see nothing. So yeah, either sham marriage or, so I was saying, in the US can deny immigration for any reason whatsoever. And one of the things that the US is somewhat notorious for is trying to not so nicely interrogate you to see if you are going to be a burden upon the country. And for an example, during the Trump years, they refused to allow anybody into the US that had a disability. Norway in general has worse immigration than the US. It may be more efficient, but it's in general worse. They don't treat people very well. They're very, I almost would go so far as to say, xenophobic. So I'm disabled. My severe depression is absolutely a disability. It's even recognized as one by US government paperwork. So when I was applying for various jobs with the US government, they had questions like, are you or have you ever been disabled? Where disabled is defined by having or have had one of these following conditions, and depression is always on the list. And my depression is definitely well into the severe category. So I have no idea if there's any light on your side of the camera, but it's pitch black for me. Anyway, so yeah, the worst case scenario is that Greta and I get married. It may go through multiple attempts, and then after that, I submit all the paperwork for moving to Norway, for residency and everything, go through the entire process. It puts me well into 2023, and then they just say no at the end of all of it. Wasting a huge amount of money, huge amount of time, and not bringing me even a single step closer to my goals. Weird echo from my own feed, I guess. So that's the worst case scenario, and it's not even that out there of a scenario, which is troublesome, to put it mildly. My own best case scenario is basically we fly through the paperwork for marriage. I get married this summer. Probably June would probably be about the earliest that it would happen. Start submitting the paperwork for immigration. They go through the process really fast because we have all of our ducks in a row. And I move out there, September, I think, is probably about the earliest viable time. And that is if everything goes right, I sail through everything. It'd be nice to actually be there for my birthday, but that's not going to happen. The problem is that disasterizing goes beyond just this. Like, for instance, my job. I personally do not think that I'm doing a very good job. And how to phrase? I don't believe it's actually my fault that I'm not doing a very good job. But unfortunately, I've lived in the US for so long that it's drilled into me that if it's not my fault that I'm doing a bad job, it's still my fault that I'm doing a bad job. I've had a lot of medical issues as of late, including my disastrous trip to Florida that's caused me severe mental anguish and also injuring my back. It's really hard to work when you're that injured. And unfortunately, my new job doesn't exactly have much in the way of sick leave. I'm down to 2 days left for the entire rest of the year, and it's May. So, oh yeah, and I'm using half of a day for my colonoscopy next month. So yeah, not exactly going great. My cats, I'm worried about them, just existing, being okay with what's going to be by far the most stressful event of their lives. I'm concerned that I'm shortening their lifespans by going through all of this. And I don't want to hurt them. If they were humans, I'd be able to explain that this is going to be better for all of us. Both my kitties and me. But they're cats. They're not going to understand. All they're going to know is that I'm shoving them in a carrier for 16 plus hours. And they're going to be poked and prodded by unfamiliar people. They're going to be upset. I honestly have no idea how to do any of this. Yeah. This is basically the cycle that's been going on in my head for over an hour straight now. It doesn't matter how much positive thinking I could apply or anything like that. My brain is a dumpster fire, and it's going to focus on the negative because that's literally what my job was for a couple of decades. I always had to anticipate the negative outcomes that could happen and try to prevent them. Which, that's the way I run my life. But in this case, I have zero ways of actually preventing any of the negative outcomes. And it's ridiculous how stressful it is. I talked to Kreatyr today. We ended up playing Daggerfall Unity together. It's actually what we've replaced our XCOM streams with. Unfortunately, Daggerfall is not exactly safe for Twitch, so I can't exactly stream that on the internet. And it's not exactly safe for YouTube, for that matter. So, no recording, just Kreatyr and I goofing off. I don't know. I wish I knew what I was doing. I wish there was, some outlined steps that somebody else had taken to know exactly how to go through with all of this process. Wish I had somebody to ask for advice. I mean, even if my mom was still alive, she never left the US. I'm the world traveler of the family. Well, my grandparents traveled quite a bit too, but I'm pretty sure I have them beat at this point even. And they're not exactly going to be going around anywhere. They're 90 plus. Okay. Might as well stop recording. I don't think you can see anything anyway. Talk to you next time, Internet.